Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let's begin with our day of ankles in the physical week of Gemini. The topic today is society. Nice topic. We have so many things to say about this topic, so let's see from where it takes us. So just in case it cuts the communication, is because today we had cuts in the light. I don't know how to say in English. Light cuts. I don't know. Energy. The power went away because I guess that it is because today was too hot. It was 45 Celsius. So that's a lot. Right now it's 39, and it's 8:30 in PM. So power cut. Thank you. If it goes away again, if we have another blackout, so don't worry, I will connect again. Too hot today. So the question today, what is society? We begin our class today. It reminds me the classes that I had of sociology. So first of all, let's remember, as always, the etymology, so we can locate the idea. Society. From where comes this word? From the Indo-European language seku. Seku means to follow, which we have in English. You have it in the word sequence or consequent. So means to follow. And this word gives us the noun of this, which is soku, that means follower, that we can take as consequent, sequent, a sequency. Okay, so that's the origin. That gives us also the word partner, which in Spanish is socio. Basically, society means the quality of following, the quality of being a partner, basically. Oh, associate. Thank you. I had no idea the word. Thank you. That would be an associate. That's the origin of soku. Quality of follow. Quality of being an associate. So what is a society? A society is basically a conjunction of individuals that they share a common goal, like for example, a religion, a philosophy, a project, a love, a hatred, a nation, a common history. They share something and they have the same goal altogether. Even if they are different, they have a same goal. They follow the same purpose. And because they follow something, they are called society, and each one of the individuals becomes an associate of that purpose. It means they follow. So everyone, all of us, somehow, in some way, we follow something. We are associate to something. Algunos podrían decir, yo no me asocio a nada, yo no sigo nada, estoy libre de todo este tipo de cosas. Entonces mi pregunta sería, ¿qué estás haciendo acá? Mirándome a mí. Básicamente, Sería la respuesta fácil. So sometimes there is some people that used to say, or some of you maybe, you could say, I don't follow anything. I don't belong to society. I am free from all these things. And so I would ask to you, so what are you doing here? Listen to me. So basically, just that would be the answer. Sometimes we usually relate society with something related to the governments and the structure of power, but it's not like this. Society basically is something that unites people that follow something. So, for example, we can say a musician. Maybe you follow a musician, so you listen to the same music like other people, or you dress like other people because you're following, I don't know, a fashion designer, or maybe you are a part of a society in a religion, or part of a society in a philosophy, or following an artist. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's just different ways of following something. So that would be society. Societies are not things only for humans. They are not created by humans. Societies are throughout all the nature. So in different parts of nature, we have this kind of societies. Like, for example, the societies from the vegetable world, like some plants, they have societies with fungus, for example, that they reach nutrients while the others help them to find light. So they work together. And also the most common societies that we have in nature is the insects with the flowers, with the plants, that the plants need to pollinize, and the insects need the matter to create food. It would be like a society, like also the colonies of ants, the colonies of bees, the beehive, the hives, and all these kind of organizations that insects and in nature we have. If we start to see nature, we will find different kinds of societies that they work together with one. In each society, every individual will be unique and will have something to give to the entire colony from themselves. So each one of them has something to give for the rest. So in societies, what a society does is to try to follow, to keep with the same system, so everyone can achieve the goal, the common goal. So a society has the main task of creating something that helps everybody to know what to do, when to do it, so they could keep and make this pattern a continuous, so they can survive. So following these patterns, this structure, they have to create something that we call culture. Culture are the main tool of societies that help them to keep taking what they need. So culture is also the origin of the word cultive, to cultivate. That basically means to take, to grab things. So basically, a culture is the way in which society, is the tool that society has in order to take what they need to keep going with the goals that they have. So like this, we have seen how the entire nature has cultures and societies doing their goals. Now we go into humanity, because humanity, as mammals as we are, we have, of course, these societies created by needs, but common needs. But eventually, humans are not only meant to work for a society, but they also have their own expectations, their own goals as an individual. So this goes against the idea of a society. This is why societies started to create something that we call laws and norms. This law and this norm will be related to a morality. Remember that morality is about where and when an individual lives. So, what is the task of law and norm? And of course, morality. The task of this in a society is to put the needs of a society, of a group, upon the needs of the individual. So this is like normal. This is like something really useful, because the will of an individual should not be upon the will of the group. So what would happen if an individual goes with its will upon the needs of a society? So that's what we call autarky or tyranny. Autarky is the power of only one person. Autarky is the power of one, and tyranny is how someone controls the rest. So don't make a mistake between autarky and monarchy. Okay, monarchy is the power of only one, and autarky is the inner power that took the power upon the others. Is the one self taking the power. Okay, that's the difference. So monarchy is something that you inherit, that people inherit from one generation to the other, and autarky is someone that says, now I will do it. So that person takes the power over the rest by its own decision. That would be what the society does in order for one person not to have all the power and not to be upon the rest. They create like a list of laws and morality and norms that everyone has to follow, and there is no one that can escape from that. So that's what they call a constitution. A constitution would be the how all together put the stability. They create an idea of stability. That's constituire. Constituire basically is to put all the things together in one place by the law of everyone. So constitution. So a constitution is the list of laws that everyone has to follow. So there's no one being that can be upon the rest. So this is a common agreement of how to follow the laws, the rules of the game. Sorry. So this is not only for a government or a nation. This can also work for a family, an association, a foundation, an institution, a team, whatever your company, whatever you are doing, they have these same things. Okay, so it's the same. A constitution in a society it's really nice to help people to be secure with the laws. But eventually, there are some individuals that start to change their point of view, and they say, we have to change this and this and that. And suddenly, the culture and the society, they protect themselves with the constitution against these people that are willing to change. This is why some people that has the tools to change into a new world, they cannot apply, they cannot do stuff, because the same system that was trying to protect themselves from those who were trying to control, it becomes the controller of those people that are willing to change. So what we have here is how the same constitution and the same society with its own culture starts to hit these people down, so they don't grow and they don't take everything that they built before. So basically, this is why society is not changing. This is why it's very difficult to change society, because the same system that was done to protect the common will of everyone is protecting itself from evolution. This is why we hear constantly today about the problems of society and this society, and the society doesn't know this or doesn't do this or whatever. So this is all the concept that we listen about society being wrong. So as you see, the same constitutions with laws that were trying to protect the society through the culture are prohibiting, forbidding the main goal of a society, which is evolution, to follow, to keep going. Because of the constitutions and the fear of change, society has been doing something against its own will, which is to hold back all the things that can bring us to the future. And today it is an impediment for us to grow. And this is not a guilt of this is not a blame to some politicians or some power people. This is culture, as I said before, is culture. Because we have been repeating the same constitutions and laws so much and so long that we are repeating all again. And by culture, we don't dare to do what the societies were meant to do, which is to keep going, to evolve, to transform. So we cannot blame this into anyone. This is about culture. We are the only ones that sustain this. This change is actually happening, as society was meant to be something that transforms according to the goals of a group of people. So if many people get together to make something, to have a goal, society must support that, because society is basically to following something that everyone wants. And today what we have is many different new ways of understanding society. We have different points of view of what we are aiming to. For example, a much more feminine society, a much more open society to every race, a much more a society that is related to nature. A lot of people is willing to change, and society is already changing its goal. But the same structure of culture and constitutions are still pulling back those changes, because they are scared. The system is scared of losing the stability, the status quo. So now picture what happening now in the society. There are two contradictory issues in most of the countries. One of them is people and everyone saying we have to change the constitution. And in the other hand, we have the same countries saying we have to respect the constitution. It's very contradictory. So what do we have to do? So as I said, a constitution is basically like a guide or like a summary book of all the willings of a society, of a group that is aiming to one same goal. So this means that at the moment when a society decides that they want something different and they ask for something different, immediately constitution must be changed. So the only way in which we can really apply for these changes, these changes in the society, is through democracy, which is a system that doesn't exist right now, that nobody really uses democracy today. What we have today is autocracies in which we choose the feudal, en el cual tenemos una república controlada, básicamente. So what we have today is basically autocracies, elected autocracies, in which during certain times we choose the feudals that will rule us for a while, and what we call republics are really control republics. So it's not really actually republics what we have today. The only countries that we can find today that are coherent in the world are countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar, Emirates. These countries are really coherent because basically they say we are monarchies, absolute monarchies. And it's like that. They work coherently with that. And they say we don't have a constitution, we have the Quran. So Quran is our book of law, and that's it. And you have to follow Quran. So they are coherent because they don't lie. They just tell what it is. The rest of the countries lie because basically they say that we have a system that we don't have. Okay. So what we have today as countries are a construction of a society. A society determines what they want for all of them together, what they share together, but eventually this common agreement disappears because some part of the society decides to do something different and some others something totally different. So what basically a country really means is the conjunction of a group of people that decides for something. And if we as a society still keep defending what others has created in a very different context, we are constantly taking ourselves back to the past and not going to the future. So sometimes when we think about the countries today, the governments of each country today are like kind of answering to to what are the needs of their citizens, but the citizens sometimes they don't really want what the governments can give them. And maybe perhaps there are some other governments in other parts of the world that are useful for these other countries. So in a globalized world, the idea of keeping a closed society in one country is absurd. So for example, if we start to compare, let's say Finland, we have Finland as a country that has solved the problem of education, well, in the country. So why most of the other countries don't just follow the system of Finland? Why they are doing systems that we know that fail in other countries? So I've heard some people working in the Ministry of Education, and some of them said that, well, the system in Finland works because the people is able to pay for that educational system, and the social, cultural, and economics of the families in South America, they are different, and we cannot apply that to a country with that with those kind of situations. And I was wondering, so yes, of course, that socially speaking, you can describe that like something that maybe can help you understand the situation of the country, but it doesn't describe the ability of the country. So it's like taking the power back, or lowering the abilities of or the belief of the capacities of the kids in a country, just because culture. And Finland was a poor country after the Soviets. It was a poor country when they developed this process of education. They had nothing. So it's not about that. It's about controlling power, whatever. Basically, the whole topic of this is that as a society, if we are willing to work for a society in the future, we as a society in the 21st century, thinking about the society in the 22nd century, we cannot follow the goals and purposes of a society in the 18th century, because that's what we are doing now. As a society, we have to think in the future, not use the tools of 2 centuries ago, because society has changed. Society is about adapting to the needs of each time. So we are here united to think about a new society, how to create a new society. So if we want to create a new society, what we have to do is to start changing or recognizing our new goals as a society. What are we following? What are we aiming? Because if we are willing to build a society according to the systems of the past, we will never be able to solve the problems of the future. Very tiny countries are thinking about the future. Most of the countries are thinking in ideologies. And I repeat, it's not because the governments keeping us like that? It's basically because culture keep those governments where they are. So that's why we should think about what are we cultivating. So my proposal for this new society is the creation of ontocracy. And ontocracy is basically what we have been doing this whole year. Ontocracy is basically the idea of gaining the power back to the self, to the being. And this is what we have been doing this whole year, to understand ourselves, to question ourselves, to try to understand the world in a very different way, to think much more wider, and to set ourselves free to choose what we want to be. So ontocracy is basically the idea of asking ourselves and acknowledging who we are and what do we want to do? Where do we go? Where do we want to go? And from there, we can build a society. So whoever asked to me, what are you doing for ontocracy, for your idea of society? Well, I would say you will have 340 videos to see and 30 more coming. A society cannot be built by a politic party. A society can only be built by cultivating human beings. The vibration today is cool. The statement is, I am a product of my actions. The quote for today is one of the Atlantean families called Myth. We would say Mythis. I take a deep breath and become aware of the entire body. Bringing my attention to my feet, going towards the head, and softly, slowly, I move every one of my joints in circles. I move my toes, ankles, knees, hip, every vertebra of the spine, fingers, wrist, elbows, shoulders, neck, and the jaw. I start to yawn and to stretch the body, moving it slowly, as if it is a dancing. I start to caress my entire body and becoming aware of each one of the actions that each part does. As I touch that part of the body, I recognize the verb encoded on it, listening and hearing for the ears, watching, seeing in the eyes, breathing in the nose, talking, eating with the mouth, and all the verbs that you can think, all the actions that you recognize in each part of your body. I become aware then that each part of my body is the product of an action, and that all of them, in a conjunction together, conform the society that I am. I begin from my head to my feet. I am my society, producto de la acción, a product of action. Sostener. I take a deep breath as I recognize each one of the verbs, the actions that I recognize in each part of my body. I recognize that each one of these actions, of these verbs, describes the activities of each part of my being, recognizing that each one of them is an associate in this society that is my body, an associate in life. I honor each one of the parts that gives me life. I honor the society of my body. I honor the society of my family. I honor the society of friends. I honor the society of my nation, of my culture. I honor the society of my country. I honor the society of humanity and the society of nature. I honor all the societies that form what I am, a product of all actions together. I am a product of all actions. I am a product of actions. I am a product of my actions. I am a product of my actions. I think, I think, I think. Take a deep breath and start to stretch the body, caressing it, and each one at its own time. Come back here and now. Thank you, everybody, for being here another day, and see you tomorrow at the same time as always. This time to close the month of Gemini.